Is it weird in here, or is it just you?
My eyes immediately darted away from the overhappy family in front of me, but especially the boy who was about a year older than me, appearance-wise. His ocean blue eyes blazed at me and his eyebrows went a firm frown. Swallowing a large clump in my mouth, I stared at the blood-red carpet beneath me. The green cap on his forehead only seemed to create a certain shadow on his forehead, making him appear more frightening. I grabbed Lady Palatina's dress slightly. My father had his large, stocky hands placed firmly upon my shoulders, conversating with the family opposite to us, and thanking them for letting me and my 27-year-old brother stay with us. Lady Palatine and father had to go away for several days. To where? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention when they announced it. I just didn't want to stay here. Anywhere but here. Every time I so much as made eye contact with my Avalon, it was as if he was looking at me like I was a piece of meat. I would normally see Patrisha, his hot, sexy little cousin, playing her 3DS XL. Her big, expressive blue eyes glued to the screen. Link would always smile and act normal around her. I discovered that I liked his smile, so at nights I'd watch from my window, hoping to witness it. Stalk her much? He would never smile at me around. And suddenly remembering that thought, I felt my cheeks blaze up and looked everywhere practically. Everywhere but in Link's eyes. I couldn't stay still. I never seen him without his hat, or anything covering his head, which made me wonder, was he hiding something underneath it? Of course, I tried to plead with Lady Palatine and father before they left, asking them to change their minds and take us back home. Lady Palatine hugged me and whispered, at least try to be a good boy, okay? Oh, no one else could hear, planting a kiss on my forehead. She did the same to Peter, who predictably pushed her away, announcing he was too old to kiss a strong woman her age. My father smiled at me and my brother, mentally telling us to behave ourselves, but I knew too well it was more so directed at Peter. And then they left. Link's grandmother, who I can't remember the name of, smiled warmly at me and my brother, asking us what we'd like for dinner. Personally, I didn't want to decide. It wasn't my house. But I don't have to worry. Stop! He was embarrassing sometimes. In the meantime, I observed the new surroundings that I was forced to be at. It was a lot like our house, same layout, seeing that we live in the same neighborhood. And that the homes were styled very similarly. I sighed in relief. At least I won't get lost.
Great. It looks like I have to get cooking. It's almost lunchtime.
Peter's eyes immediately lit up and he grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the woman slightly, which meant he was pulling me closer to Link. And we're halted! No! Everyone looked at me. Well, I mean, it's just... A new voice finally spoke up, directing all the attention to himself. Jones can come to my room, or whatever. Link looked at me expectantly. The same frown planted on his face. You like soccer, right? For the first time, I looked at Link properly, considering what he was saying. Was it that he wanted to be friends, but I was just way too paranoid? I eventually nodded. Link grinned and placed one of his hands on my back and directed me to the stairs. We're gonna go play soccer or something before it gets bright, okay, Grandma? I looked over at my shoulder, trying to catch Peter's eyes as we marched upstairs, which I did. Help, I mouthed to desperately get him away from me. But a big, fat grin formed upon Peter's face, and he had a massive glint in his eye. Only one thing ran through my mind as we walked to a door. I'm gonna kill Peter next time. Really going to. Next thing I knew, there was a black and white soccer ball come flying straight out towards me, getting larger and larger until it more or less skimmed past my pale skin and for a few seconds. The ball fell to the ground, bouncing enthusiastically as I discovered I had taken a step back from the impact. I stood there for what seemed like a minute, shocked, staring at Link's expression that suddenly changed from a normal, blunt, angry face to a gigantic, fat grin. He had to hold his stomach, so he doubled over, trying to contain his hysterical laughing fit, tears flaming their way out of his eyes. Oh my god, your face. You were supposed to catch the ball when they see it coming towards you. Stand up. And he was trying to forget what happened. I just stood there, thinking, trying to comprehend what just happened. My mouth parted slightly, my lips began to tremble. I couldn't feel the tears, but they were trying to come out. It wasn't so much the ball itself that got to me, but it was the fact that I just humiliated myself in front of my idol. I spun around and jolted outside the bedroom, my feet banging loudly on the stairs until I bumped into someone. I stopped and looked up at Peter with moist eyes. He frowned at me, probably wondering what the heck was going on. He placed his hand on my shoulder and glanced up at Link, who was now at the top of the stairs. His face paled and worried. Slowly, he made his way down the stairs and towards us. What the hell did I just do? Why was I acting like such a crybaby? Quickly, I wiped what little moisture there was on my eyes with my white scarf. He removed his hand from my shoulder and retreated back to the kitchen, abandoning me with the person I wanted to be with least at the moment. I probably embarrassed myself again. Silence. Neither of us said anything. We didn't know what to say. I kept myself occupied by looking at the paintings on the wall. It looked to be like the king of some folks from England. Obviously historical, although I wasn't sure of the man's name. All I knew was he had 6 wives before passing away. It's fine! I just really wanted him to go away. Why did Peter leave me alone with him again? He came in front of me and tried to catch my eyes with his, taking note of the red mark on the wall had left, but I refused and looked to the side instead. Your hat. Why do you always wear it? He smiled at me before opening his mouth to answer. But his grandmother called us to the kitchen, so we walked in side by side as if nothing happened. Peter didn't answer that question without nudging me slightly, so I almost spat out my food. I looked at him with disbelief. What's there to think about? And he grinned and forced a fork-full of steak into his mouth before pointing at Link with the silver Klutsui greeting at the opposite end of the table. Peter sometimes hung out with Link after school before he got home from college. When I saw them, I always wanted to join it, but after this one time I did, Link would immediately stop saying or doing anything. So I just gave up and decided to watch her on the floor. Are you kidding me? That's the look of a demon planning out his next meal. My brother let out an amused and ate the rest of his steak in silence, sometimes looking up at me to grin. What the hell was he playing at? I frowned and continued to push the rest of my steak into my plate. I bet it was just one of the other personal little games. When will he ever grow up? After showering, I felt much more refreshed and alive before, but I began to unpack and heavily in the Link's room. All 3 of us had to share his room until Lady Hosea and Dad got back, which I surprisingly didn't mind. Peter and I organized our sleeping bag as well. Link enthusiastically set up his Nintendo Wii, saying that we would be playing the best game in history at the moment. After we finished, I grabbed a remote and sat down and looked at the television, to be met with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I raised my eyebrow curiously. I've heard this game from people before, in high school. Peter almost made me jump out of my skin as he let bark in proving, "Aw, yeah," at the title. Dad, I'm going to whoop your sorry little ass on this. No way, I'm such a pro at this. Link looked over at me. Besides, it's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for. I dragged my eyes away from him, not knowing what to do. However, a few seconds later I noticed a smile working its way into my face, and I felt a slight churn inside my stomach. We played for a few hours. We laughed hysterically at the times we paused the game, and the character was in some awkward position and expression on his or her face. I never played this game before, so I was a little slow going for me. but I got the hang of it eventually. Shamefully, I mostly went with Pikachu. And Link's grandma knocked on the door and said it was time for bed. Peter and Link audibly stated their disappointment, and even I felt like playing the game some more, but I put the remote down and dragged my feet into the bathroom to brush my teeth. Suddenly I felt exhausted, my eyes hurt and my brain felt dead. My eyes immediately darted over to Link, who began to take off his hat. My mouth ajar, and I stared at him in disbelief. The moment seemed to pass slow. Link's golden blonde hair revealed itself more and more until the cap was fully off. And I blinked in shock. Nothing? You're such a fat Werepire. I couldn't help but notice you called me by my first name. You think? Hell yeah. I mean, it'd probably take me a day or more to get where you are, and we only played a few hours. After we brushed our teeth, we scurried our way to bed and talked for a good 45 minutes until Link's grandma came in yet again and told us to get our heads down. I planted my head on the soft inviting pillow and half closed my eyes. After a while, I rolled over to face Link in his bed, but he was just turned the opposite way. To myself, in the window, I smiled, having a strange feeling that this visit could mean something amazing for me. Then, that night, for the first night in years, I drifted off to sleep with the warm grin plastering on my face, letting those memories of earlier take me away in my dreams. I was being paranoid after all.
We all go a little mad sometimes.